welcome back again with me, Stefani Ernes Adisti, and unlike usual, this time I'd like to show you how I practice my public speaking skills by delivering a speech that also serves as a mid-semester examination assessment. So, without any further ado, let's move on to the video. The Honorable, my teacher, and my beloved friends, good morning. First of all, thank you for having me in this wonderful opportunity. I hope we are all in good health. In my short speech today, I will discuss the negative impact of television programs on today's youth. Perhaps many of us are fed up of hearing this kind of thing, but have you ever recognized that television programs play a role in the development of the youth? Then, what's your opinions on today's television shows? Is it getting any better, or do we no longer care because we are sick of watching television programs that are getting worse and worse? Then, what are the effects of television content on us? Is everything just a good thing, or are there any bad effects? And more importantly, do we know how to deal with or even avoid the negative effects? Well, to answer these questions, the question, television is one of the electronic mass media which function as a means of communication to convey information, message, and ideas to the public. Moreover, this electronic device also serves to persuade, educate, and entertain the audience through image and sound transmitted to the screen, which show various programs. These programs refer to television programs, also known as television shows, which contain segments of audiovisual content that broadcast on television. Despite the fact that television shows have been categorized based on the appropriateness of content according to the age by assigning a rating code, many television programs keep filling the schedule slots intended for young people. As a result for the situation, young people are compelled to relieve their emotions or stress by TV shows that are unsuitable for their age. Unconsciously, those television programs affect the behavior, speech, and even the mindset of the young people. Is this something you are aware of? Back to the early 20s, there were many television programs suitable for young people, where their programs were lively but educated, such as Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, MTV Ampu, Bajaj Bajuri, and Fear Factor. Is there anyone who still remembers it? I'm sure people my age are familiar with the shows or have at least heard of them. Unfortunately, TV programs nowadays are increasingly blurred. It can even be claimed that TV shows have neglected their educational functions since the broadcasting stations are more concerned about viewer ratings. However, is that all the reason youth can be exposed to the negative impacts of television programs? The answer is no, and there are numerous other indicators that television has a negative impact on youth that should be of concern to all of us. First, poor quality television programs are broadcast. It's actually quite difficult to find suitable content for young people these days because all of these shows have been replaced by TV shows that expose offensive things just to enhancing their ratings. It is because television channels base their content on the basic law of supply and demand, whereby television programs are designed for the majority of viewers. No matter how cheesy or cringe the TV program is, it is not a big deal as long as the audience follows the program. The point is that TV channels will supply what people demand because their market is the majority of the audience. Indonesia itself has numerous Tagalog class TV shows that broadcast indecent scenes or old dialects such as FTV or local dramas. Indonesia's FTV typically develops with a religious theme and followed by a weird title with the plot based on the community issues. For instance, jenazah mandor kejam mati terkubur cor-coran dan tertimpa meteor, which tells of a fierce and greedy foreman who gets karma when he dies. This local drama drew the attention of Indonesian netizens a long while ago due to a scene in which a corpse was thrown into a cement mortar and swirled in it. Even worse, a lot of Indonesian production houses openly plagiarize scenes and even the international serial storyline. The local Indonesian series like You Who Come From the Star atau Kamu Yang Berasal Dari Bintang shook the film industry since the similarity in the storyline as well as the title to the Korean drama My Love from Another Star, which tells the story of an alien and a well-known artist who has a relationship. The second one is unnecessary television content. Today's TV program seems to have no limits since the media has gone too far in exposing the private lives of public figures, which shouldn't be for public consumption, right? It's all because journalists are chasing news deadlines. Media crews often do not give space to anyone who gets in trouble. Ariel is one of the musicians who has been a victim of abuses of the code of ethics by journalists. At the time, Ariel had completed his investigation into his immoral case, and when he returned from the interrogation room, reporters surrounded him in a tense situation with several journalists grabbing his body. Last but not least, there are comedy shows that contain potentially earth's jokes. Even though one of its functions is to provide entertainment, it doesn't mean that television programs become a platform for the comedians to utter their jokes without control. There are a ton of comedy shows on television that must be wrapped up due to the violations committed by the comedians. Violations of protective orders such as individuals and or classes within society are often seen in comedy shows. Basically not all comedians know that their jokes can get them into trouble, because in such situations, comedians will try to make the audience laugh at all costs. However, whether they realize it or not, some parties may take offense at the joke because it brings up certain physical conditions or certain sexual orientations and gender identities, as well as certain professions or ethnic groups. Andre Taulani and Rina Nose are two comedians who have stumbled on a case of alleged defamation. They both used the Latu Konsina clan as a joke during the Sahur program on one of Indonesia's private television stations, where they purposefully slipped the clan into Latu Kondangan and Latu Kontraksi. Other violations include abuses of child protection and breaches norms of decency. Most of violence in comedy television shows is verbal, and young people tend to copy what they find amusing, even though not everything can be copied. Based on the facts that I have explained, we can conclude that television is like two sides of a coin, which on the one hand, television can be a means to broaden horizon through the latest news updates, both domestically and internationally, media to learn about the process, and platforms for releasing emotions. On the other hand, television can hinder the growth of the next generations because of its low quality programs. However, it needs to be realized that all parties have a responsibility for the negative influence of television programs on youth. The Indonesian Broadcasting Commission, as the government's representative, should be able to better embrace the staff of television stations and public figures, as well as provide more counselor on proper television program standards. Broadcasting stations that produce television shows must also be more innovative in producing high quality shows. Broadcast stations that produce television programs must also be more innovative in producing TV programs with quality content. If a show is cancelled due to violations, don't be irritated or give up, but make it a listen to create even better programs. Since not all acts or words broadcast on television can be imitated, young people should be able to filter what should be followed and what should be avoided. We as a young people are now expected to think critically in way to protect ourselves from unsavory shows. There are many things that young people as audience can do, including changing television channels that broadcast non-educational programs, limiting screen time for productive activities, and analyzing the information transmitted on television. Since the family is the primary scope for developing great youth characteristics, parents are also required to continue to educate their children by providing an awareness of what is appropriate and what is not. So, this is the end of my speech today, and I hope some of the points that I have conveyed today raise our awareness and cautions when watching televisions, that allowing us to minimize the negative effects of television. So I thank you for your kind attention. Good day.